Okay, people, it's, I think September 9th. It's Saturday anyway, 2016. As you can see, Andre and I have been collecting acorns. They're turning brown as I'm bringing them into the house. I think that would be normal because if they're outside for any length of time, they'll turn brown. But anyway, we're collecting these for the squirrels in the wintertime, right? We're just kind of collecting them. So I think what I'm going to try and do here is I'm going to try and dehydrate them along with the walnuts that I've been doing, right? And then I'm going to just throw them in a jar, and then over the winter we'll give them to the squirrels out in the backyard, right? We'll make a little squirrel, what do you call that thing? We'll make a little ramp or something for the squirrel food. Here is the black walnut. Andre got lucky yesterday. He found like 7 of them. 6 of them or 5 of them. No, it was like 7. It was like quite a few anyway of walnuts. The actual black walnut that fell off the tree. There's a difference between the black walnut and the English walnut in terms of their medicinal or medical or antibacterial properties. I'm not too sure yet. I just know that it's the black. Okay, I don't know if this is working or not, people. I can't. The screen's not even working. I'm looking for the little flashing red light to tell me that this is working. This camera, I don't think it's going to last much longer. I think it's on its last legs. So, anyway, this ink here is the rind. I'm trying to get, oh, there we go. Okay. This ink here that I'm making is not in the other pot, okay? The other pot is a little different, right? It's just more miscellaneous, mix-match, just whatever. Boil it up, strain it, and whatever. You've seen us, Andre and I, add in the extra husks and whole. And so anyway, Andre found a whole bunch of black walnuts yesterday when we went out. So I peeled them up last night. And the stuff I didn't dehydrate, the rest I put in a separate container by itself. So there is no English walnut in this pot. It's just all black walnut. And with a bit of water. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just simmer it down to half the liquid at least. And then I'm going to separate the two. And then I'm going to dehydrate the husk. Right? And then after it's dry, I'm going to grind it up. And then I'm going to make that as your, like, paint. In terms of, you've got paint on the go. All you have to do is just take out a little bit, put on a palette, and add some water. Now, the thing about black walnut, on paper, this is the unique part of it, is that it gets darker over a period of time. It doesn't fade. It actually gets darker. And that's why people favor it. That's why there's writings in parchment paper from eons ago by some famous philosopher where the ink is still there because he used black walnut ink. And over a period of time, and we're talking thousands of years or hundreds of years or whatever it is, it won't fade. It just gets darker. So that's something to make note of in terms of, you know, if you're an artist and you know, you do that fine detail with that type of ink product, then I would highly recommend seeking out black walnut ink for the purpose of, right? Hold on a minute. Okay, so now I'm outside. As you can see, I've been doing stuff, right? I have to clear out in there so Andre and I can start building. We're going to build some cat houses for the winter. We're going to tidy up that in there. I guess I'm going to have to fix this. So anyway, we're in here now. I think today, because it's nice, I'm going to get up in here and I'm going to find a utility knife and scrape that off and try and redo it. And then up in here, oh God, I'm afraid to look, people. I think it's still recording. Because if I open the flap, it's going to kick out. But along that seam line in there, I can only guesstimate. I can point the camera in the direction that I'm looking at, right? I see the access flashing on and off, so I'm assuming it's still recording. I'm just going to take something and stuff it with something, and then put something there, and then try and silicone it. And hopefully that will prevent the leaking that I get in this part of here, right? Same thing on this side. I mean, something is better than nothing. I don't want to put the camera up in there. Bright light. Anyway, our fish are in there, but I don't know if it's because the weather changed or what, but I just know that as soon as I put the fish in here, the algae started to grow, like, immediately. There is no precosmus or nothing like that in there to eat the algae, right? And the same is true for the front, but I think with the front, what's happening with the pond, I have to get out there and do something with it pretty soon. I'm going to change its structure a little bit and get rid of those little pockets because they breed mosquitoes and they just get putrid if something in there gets in there, right? So I have to kind of like gut the whole thing, and well, not gut the whole thing, but half the thing, and I want to put up a wall to try and keep the raccoons out. But in the meantime, because I'm pretty sure they go in there and get right into the water. They like water, right? So today, this is what I'm going to work on. And there's a cat. There's a cat. I see a cat. Do you see a cat? I see a cat. So, that's the priority, is to make this not leak for today. And then as I'm moving around, we know that that's mostly done now in terms of the walls and the insulation. And I'm moving stuff now from the back to the back over here. Oh yes, and I'm going to do this stuff here too. I'm straining this today. I'm going to upload this now. Okay, people. It is September 9th, I think, 2016. Uncle John would want me to continue telling the story, right? History of the nonprofit. So as you can see, I'm back here today. So this is going to be pretty hard. So for all these overweight cows that sit there and creep my YouTube channel with their negativity.
And blackberry bushes.
They need to go find themselves a blackberry bush and get out there and do what I'm doing. And then sit their big bottom butts back down at the computer.
To get some.
And then tell us their story. And then they really need to put a face to their story. Right? Not some fake username. So besides that point, do you see this boards? I have to pull them out, people. So after I clear out in here, I'll be able to make a path. I have to cut out the blackberries from the raspberries. You can see blackberries have overtaken. It should have been done a long time ago, but I'm only one person. I can only do so much out here. So in the meantime, I'm going to deal with the blackberries, and then I'm going to rip out the boards, and I'm going to insulate it with the things that I have. I'll videotape that. Like I said, Uncle John would want us to continue telling the story. Right, clean this up. And so I'm working on that today. And then I'm working on getting up that raccoon poo. I do it in batches, bits and batches, right? And then there was something else. Oh yes, I'm moving some of this stuff to the back of the yard there. Andre's playhouse that never got finished. 2 years later, still not finished. And I'm just going to sort out some toys. But anyway, I'll be back. Okay, so it's about noon now. So what we're doing here, people, Andre and I.
We're going to hammer.
Yeah, we're going to insulate it better with the foam.
And that.
I'm working on the outside wall. And then there's styrofoam.
Oh, and don't get about that.
Yeah, we'll fix the fence later. Then we have this, right? Because this stuff doesn't mold, people, right? It gets a little dirty, but it doesn't mold. So anyway, I'm clearing out in here. Andre, what do you want to show the people? What is that?
Now I got this hammer for me.
Yeah, it's a pretty cute little hammer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, just stay there, Andre. You can't come in here because there's glass. I just want to point out something here. So, anyway, I have to take this stuff out. In here, you know, raspberry is a great plant. It produced a lot of raspberries this year, people. A lot. This back bush was really, really healthy this year. There's the... Oops. Oh, my God.
What?
Anyway, I'm back. So this is growing in behind the fence here. You can, behind the wall. You can see that.
Maybe it's coming from this.
Yeah, well, it's the raspberry bush. Raspberry bushes, they crawl, right? So, anyway, I'm going to dig from this side out, which I've done before. And I'm going to incorporate all these pine needles and whatnot into the dirt after I'm done this part here. On the inside where you can see that seam, I'll take some of that foam, you can see the seam, and put it on the other side. But for the inside in here, I'm going to re-insulate it as best as I can. And I got a little bit of insulation, actual insulation that I found, right? Just a small bag. And I'm going to stuff it in there just to, you know, get it ready for winter, right? And then I'm going to take a small brush, you know, brush off this dirt, a little bit of water, right after it's said and done. And then put the boards back on, right? Okay, so I'm on the other side here. I don't know if this camera's working, man. Okay. So I'm going to turn this carpet over and around and under and tuck it in. Right, try not to move too much. And then these things, you're going to see, I'm going to run them right across the whole wall here. Okay, nose is starting to run, people. Anyway, you can see what I've done. Rolled up that carpet, tucked it in, tucking in that. Gonna go all the way down, and then I'm running these little foam mats, right? So I have to wash a few, because you kind of want to put them somewhat clean in, right? Because they won't mold, but they'll definitely help to insulate the greenhouse. I'm not worrying about this corner right now. And then after I'm done this, right, then I'm going on the other side, and I'm going to insulate it from the other side, and then I'm going to put the boards back up. Hold on. Okay, so I can't move around too much with this camera, but as you can see, I'm on the other side of the wall. There's that insulation, people. I found that. So I'm just going around the yard picking up miscellaneous styrofoams, trying to pack this as tight as I can. It's a, you know, an insulated wall. I only technically have 2 insulated walls on this greenhouse, right? And so that the hornets can't get in here. This year they didn't make a nest in here. Last year, not this last year, but the year before, they had a hornet's nest. But this year they didn't come in here. So anyway, I'm going to pack this up tight.
What are you doing?
Okay, people, I don't normally film the sky, but those clouds don't look normal. Like, none of that looks normal. You tell me how that's normal. That's not normal. Nothing normal about that.
Well, what happened?
I don't know. Somebody's spraying something in the skies. They're doing something.
These clouds?
I don't know. Some people say somebody's trying to poison the planet.
Oh, and come look, we found. Look at that.
And then, because I found this other signage, I cut it in half. Right? And then what we're going to do, you can see, I'm going to take it and I'm going to run it over this, probably spray down that wood over there, right? And then I'll put the other boards back on. So as you can see, there's the wall. It's almost done, right? I have that correlated plastic on that side. Hold on. And then in the back, you can see what I've done. All the insulation and whatever styrofoam is all in there. Now I'm going to try and put back these boards.